So friend, today we'll be discussing about 8 critical rules which will help you build the best possible attitude during your articleship or internship. So let's get started. The first rule is basically about the fact that it is not thinking about running which will help you build your muscle, but rather actual activity of running. And this is even true with your day-to-day life, because whenever you are given any particular assignment to execute, whenever your senior gives you any task, any work, in that time, many a time I have seen that the junior team member who has just joined, he would actually worry about the fact that what should I do, what are the next steps, and he will more worry about execution of that assignment rather than acting on that assignment. So it is always, I will recommend to all of you, to rather than worrying about the assignment, you need to start acting on the assignment. Whatever little steps you can take those steps, and that will help actually build the confidence that you can execute that assignment. So whenever any task is given to you, instead of thinking about that particular task, always start working on that particular task. So as I mentioned, that instead of thinking about running, start running, and that will certainly help you execute that assignment in the best possible manner. And that's the reason it is also said in couple of, I would say, books, that you cannot edit a blank page. You need to start writing. So whenever any opinion, advisory, anything is given to you, instead of thinking about the fact as to how will I reply to a show cause notice, how will I draft the opinion, start with the basic things. Like say you might start with even writing couple of lines about fact of that particular matter or about that company. So the time you start doing that, automatically it will build your confidence and you will be in a better position to execute that assignment. So instead of thinking about it, always start working on it. That's the first thing I would share with you. The second important thing is, whenever any task or any assignment is given to any team member, many a time the problem is that instead of looking at the opportunity that it's a new assignment, it's a new client, it's a new industry, and there is a big opportunity for that particular team member to learn, many a time I have seen that instead of looking into the fact that it's a new opportunity, many team member might see that opportunity as a difficulty because they have not handled that industry for earlier, because they don't have experience of that industry. So instead of looking at opportunity, they will see difficulty in that opportunity. And that's the reason the second important thing you need to keep in mind, that you need to find opportunities in difficulty or opportunity in difficult time rather than looking for difficulties in opportune time. And that's the reason I mentioned that always try to find opportunity in difficulty. Whenever new assignment is given, always tell yourself that you will be learning something new. So instead of focusing on the difficulties, the challenges, focus on what there in store for you, what new things you are going to learn. The third important thing is that you need to be watchful. Many a time, whenever you are working on an assignment, whenever you are executing assignment, whenever the assignment is complete, many a time I have seen that because there is no problem, because there is no issue, typically the team will be a bit complacent. They will not worry because there is no problem as such which is appearing. But in such time, I always tell that if there is no problem, you need to be more careful, you need to be more watchful. Always think, I am not saying always worry, I am saying always think what can be done better. Whether there was a better way to execute this assignment, whether there can be an alternate thought which can be put in the assignment. Because the more and more you become watchful, automatically new and critical areas you can identify, a new insight you can develop. But for that you need to be watchful. That's the third, I would say, rule for you to keep in mind, that you need to be watchful. Fourth, you need to cultivate a success mindset. And what is mean by a success mindset? I would say that you need to be very keen, you need to be very clear that I need to succeed in each and every assignment which I am handling. It might be a smallest possible task. Somebody telling you that please take this file and make a file, put appropriate flaps and all. Somebody will tell you that just call this client and discuss about this particular thing with him. Somebody might tell you draft this email. These are the facts, this is the view, this is the judgment, refer and draft that email. So whichever assignment is given to you, whatever task is given to you, always think what can you do better in that particular task. How that task can have your own USP, your special means I would say your special signature. People should say that if this task is executed by ABC, I don't have to check that task. So try to make it error free. Try to ensure that even if it is the smallest possible task, the senior should say this is one of the best possible report which they have received, or this is the best possible email which they have received. So that's the reason I'm mentioning that you need to have a mindset of success. It does not mean that you need to succeed in each and every assignment, but you need to push your own self very hard so that your best can come out, and that best should satisfy your senior. And automatically the time you are making your senior comfortable, even in the initial days, if he is giving you basic assignment, slowly and steadily he will also trust you with the difficult assignment as well. The next rule I would try to share with you is that there is nothing called as try. Many a time people say that if I ask them, for example, can you execute this assignment, they will say I will try. I always mention there is no try. Either you execute the assignment or you don't. There is nothing called as try. You may try your level best, but I always mention that either you will fail or you will succeed. But if you have that attitude that I will get things done, eventually sometime it may happen that you will not be in a position to get things done. But that effort, that mindset of yours that I will get it done and I will try all my level best, I will do everything for it, that itself will give you and the senior a confidence that this thing will be done. And that's the reason, instead of saying that I will try, because in that try there might be certain excuses which can be falling behind, you should always say that okay sir, I will do it. And obviously if there is anything, if there is any problem, I will come back to you. So always have that attitude of getting things done. The time you have that attitude, automatically you will be away from excuses, and automatically nobody will be in a position to stop you from being successful. The next important thing, and this may seem trivial because most of the time we see that whenever a junior team member or whenever a colleague, senior, whosoever he is, when he is drafting an email, we have seen that people even don't do some basic stuff. For example, they will not do spell check. And at that time when a document is sent to a senior, or an email is sent to the senior for review, and that senior is able to find certain spelling mistake, प्लीज़ नोट, आपको लगेगा एज ए जूनियर कि सर स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक तो है, बाकी तो ईमेल परफेक्ट था, लेकिन यहाँ पर सीनियर को लगेगा कि अगर इसने स्पेल चेक भी नहीं किया है तो सही में उसने थिंक थ्रू किया है क्या. उस सीनियर का पूरा जो कॉन्फिडेंस है आपके ऊपर, वही पूरा वो कॉन्फिडेंस शेक हो जाएगा. और इसीलिए ये बहुत क्रिटिकल है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है आपके लिए कि आप जो भी बेसिक स्टफ है, फॉर्मेटिंग होगा, स्पेल चेक होगा, वो अप्रोप्रिएटली करो. बिकॉज आपके लिए आपको लगेगा कि ये सर ये तो सब छोटा चीज़ है, मैंने ओपिनियन तो परफेक्टली ड्राफ्ट किया था, लेकिन प्लीज़ नोट करिएगा ये स्मॉल थिंग्स की वजह से जो सीनियर का कॉन्फिडेंस है आपके ऊपर वो बहुत हिट हो सकता है. और इसीलिए दिस इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट रूल आई वुड से, दैट नेवर मेक स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक्स इवन. द नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज, एंड दैट द सेवंथ रूल आई वुड से, दैट मेनी अ टाइम सीनियर विल ट्रस्ट यू विद डिफिकल्ट एंड चैलेंजिंग असाइनमेंट. इन सच टाइम यू नीड टू राइज टू द एक्सपेक्टेशन. बहुत बार ऐसा होगा कि एक लास्ट मिनट पे लास्ट ड्यू डेट है और आपको कहा जाएगा रिप्लाई टू शो कॉज नोटिस ड्राफ्ट भी करना है और सबमिट भी करना है. हो सकता है आपको बोला जाएगा कि अगले 3 दिन में कोई अपील हमको सबमिट करना है. ऐसे चैलेंजिंग टाइम में बहुत बार हमको एक प्रेशर तो आने ही वाला है. आई एम नॉट सेइंग यू विल नॉट बी अंडर प्रेशर, बट इसी टाइम पे आपको राइज करना होता है. You should always try to rise to the expectation rather than failing to the expectation or falling to the expectation, or rather meeting the expectation. You should always try to beat the expectation. The more and more you do, the better and better you will become. And that's the reason it is very critical, very important for you to always rise to the expectation, particularly in challenging times. तो जैसे मैंने कहा, अगर आपके सीनियर ने कहा कि सर 3 दिन में हमको ये जो अपील वगैरह है ये सबमिट करना है, उस टाइम पे हो सकता है सुबह 4 बजे उठना पड़े आपको, सुबह 8 बजे जल्दी ऑफिस में आना पड़े, रात के 12-1 बजे तक बैठना है, तो वॉट एवर नीड्स टू बी डन यू शुड डू इट एंड इंश्योर दैट असाइनमेंट इज अप्रोप्रिएटली कंक्लूडेड. सो यू शुड ऑलवेज ट्राई टू राइज टू द एक्सपेक्टेशन रादर देन फेलिंग. एंड द लास्ट एंड द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज, इफ यू वांट टू कल्टिवेट द बेस्ट एटीट्यूड ड्यूरिंग आर्टिकलशिप, ट्राई टू टेक प्लान्ड ब्रेक्स. मैंने देखा है कुछ बच्चे रहते हैं, बहुत हार्डवर्क करते हैं, कंटिन्यूसली हार्डवर्क करते हैं, लेकिन बीच में फिर वो कंटिन्यूसली बीमार हो जाते हैं. और उसका रीज़न है कि उन्होंने ब्रेक ही नहीं लिया. बहुत हार्डवर्क किया, कंटिन्यूसली हार्डवर्क किया, लेकिन एक छोटा मोटा जो ब्रेक हो सकता है 2-3 दिन का, 5 दिन का, घर पे जाना, तो ये सर्टनली प्लान करके ये ब्रेक्स लीजिएगा. बिकॉज कंटिन्यूसली अगर हम काम करेंगे और प्लान करके ब्रेक नहीं लेंगे तो सर्टनली, एज इट इज सेड नो, दैट if you don't take break that it will make you a dull boy. So that's the reason, try to take breaks. And जब break ले रहे हो तो obviously tell your team member, your client and everybody, keep them informed कि मेरा email पे जब वो ऑटोमेटिक एक रिप्लाई जाता है ना, that I am on leave for 2-3 days करके, तो वो सब स्टैंडर्ड ईमेल की जो रिप्लाईज वगैरह वो सब बना के रखो, ऑटोमेटेड रिप्लाई जाएंगे क्लाइंट को वगैरह, ऑटोमेटिकली आपका जो छुट्टी है 2-3 दिन 5 दिन का वो आप आराम से एंजॉय कर पाओगे, एंड देन अगेन फ्रेशन अप होके फिर से आप ऑफिस को ज्वाइन कर सकते हो। तो इसके लिए इवन ब्रेक लेना भी बहुत ज़रूरी है, तभी आपका लर्निंग बेस्ट होगा। सो दीज आर द 8 क्रिटिकल रूल्स आई वांटेड टू शेयर विथ यू। आई होप यू लाइक्ड इट। अगर आपको कोई रूल लगता है जो स्पेसिफिकली अच्छा है तो उसके बारे में ज़रूर कमेंट सेक्शन में शेयर करिएगा। थैंक यू।